guys. So I think the bigger thing here is right. So hi guys, Robert Horovitz here, naturopathic doctor from lifelongwell.ca, Canada's super ultra premium online health food store where we only have products of the most premium, highest quality that I can find. Today, what I want to share with you is bread in depth. When we're looking at bread, I encourage everybody to read the ingredients. I'm going to put the ingredients on what's marketed as an incredibly super healthy bread. I've bought this many times because I was fooled. Okay, I was naive. I bought this bread because it said ancient grains on it. I love quinoa. I love these ancient grains, for so many reasons, and we can chat about them in depth. You might even know more about them than I do because they're so prevalent in the marketplace and they're unbelievably healthy, okay? But what I encourage you to do is look at the ingredients. Don't just read the marketing on the package. I know it's beautiful. I told you before, I was one of those kids who loved reading the cereal boxes as I was eating my morning cereal. I loved it, okay? And I get wooed by marketing just like anybody else. But what I encourage you to do is read the ingredients, because when you look deeply, it's not the same bread grandma used to make. Okay, they have mono and diglycerides in there. There's maltodextrin. There's certain ingredients, certain softening agents to make the bread nice and soft, and preservatives to help it last longer, right? They have incredibly long shelf lives. These ingredients are unbelievably unhealthy, okay? They can cause all sorts of havoc in the body. First of all, they're foreign to the body. So when you take something like mono and diglycerides and you rip them out of corn, you're dealing with a molecule. Mono and diglycerides are not food. They might be considered safe, okay? And that's for you guys to go and look through the literature, look at the science. But either way, okay, they're not food. They're isolated derivatives that you're finding in a lot of these low-fat foods, healthy foods. Typically, they're derived from corn, and often genetically modified corn. I'm going to chat with you a little bit about genetically modified corn and why I think it's so dangerous. By the way, one great reference you could look at is a movie called Genetic Roulette, okay? And it's by Jeffrey Smith. It's an incredibly enlightening movie. And it'll really give you way more information than I can even provide in this video. So Genetic Roulette, I'm going to put that name up there, Genetic Roulette by Jeffrey Smith. But basically what happens is corn gets eaten by insects. In order to avoid this, they found this bacteria that produces a toxin. The bacteria is called Bt. It's short for this name you see up here. It doesn't matter. You don't need to remember that. You'll never remember it. I don't even know it, but it's up there anyway for your benefit. Bt toxin. Scientists have taken genes from this bacteria and incorporated it into corn, okay? Beautiful, nutritious corn, but now we have bacterial genes inside. So the corn itself is producing its own Bt toxin. It's producing its own toxin, okay? So therefore, when the corn gets eaten, the insects die. But human beings aren't insects, are we? So it's got to be safe for humans. At least that's what we thought. As recent as 2012, though, we found out that not only was the science incredibly sketchy, okay, but these Bt toxins actually cause inflammation in our microvilli, which are these little folds. And I'm going to put a picture up there again, these little folds in our intestinal tract, right, in our small intestine that helps us to absorb nutrients. We were talking about that at length in some of the other videos that we just posted. If those get damaged through inflammation, right, what happens? Certain things from your food that should not get through, all of a sudden get through. And if your immune system responds in the wrong way, boom, havoc. You can have food sensitivities, and food sensitivities can mean virtually anything. I mean, some people get rashes, some people might get skin conditions from them. They might notice the psoriasis or eczema gets worse, or they might have never had psoriasis or eczema beforehand, or they might get bloating and gas like I do. I get bloated severely if I eat these wheat products, for example, okay? And we all are so quick to blame gluten, but what else are in these products? Things that are causing inflammation, which might allow gluten to pass through, whereas normally it really shouldn't. Normally, I don't really think we should be responding to gluten in the way we are. Gluten really shouldn't be giving us that much trouble because it shouldn't really be getting through to our immune system in the way that it is. But all these other factors, constipation, diarrhea, GMOs, processed ingredients like mono and diglycerides, which are from GMO corn, they cause inflammation. All of a sudden gluten get through and we respond negatively. Another interesting thing Jeffrey goes through in Genetic Roulette is that a lot of food sensitivities and all of these digestive concerns that we're seeing, Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis, irritable bowel syndrome, right? They have a steady rise in genetically modified organisms have been introduced into the marketplace, which is astonishing. Now, I'm not saying genetically modified organisms are causing these problems, okay? And neither is Jeffrey. But it is very, very interesting, isn't it, that they've been on the rise since the introduction. I mean, chances are when you were a kid, if you're old enough, you never really heard of these food sensitivities, digestive concerns. Why? Because they were so rare. You know, many different things can cause inflammation, but there are just so many new additives. There's so many additives and preservatives and things in our food now that I happen to think that the risk for developing inflammation in our digestive tract is a lot more prevalent than it used to be. Therefore, items from food that should not get through, our immune systems react, boom, we get sensitive to it. Love to hear what you think. You know, fire me a text, fire me a message in the comment section. I'd love to hear from you, but this is my opinion, and I hope this offered you any value whatsoever. Have a look at the ingredients. Let me know what ingredients you find in your food. Take a photo. Email me, okay? It's robert@lifelongwell.ca. I'd love to hear what you find at your local grocery store. Here's an item right here, by the way, of a margarine that's advertised as vegan. Sounds incredible, doesn't it? Well, have a look at the ingredients list. 3, 2, 1, it's gone. Talk about that in the next video. Cheers.